And to think we actually dared to question Mohammad Nabi's decision at the toss. Win the toss, bat first. Didn't he think of dew? I don't think he cared, because when you make a mountain of runs, that mountain tends to bury the dew under its very weight. And therefore, Afghanistan have an imposing total on board, 190 for 4, the highest total ever in a T20 World Cup in the 20 overs. Najibullah Zadran finishing with 59 of 34, but the early impetus produced by Hazratullah Zazai, and in the middle it was the other swashbuckler, Rahmanullah Gurbaz. That's all they have. They have swashbucklers, and there were a few more to come in case they needed it. So here we are on Cricbuzz Live to discuss that 190. I'm Gautam Bhimani in the company of Harsha Bhogle and Joy Bhattacharya. Harsha, as you'll notice, I'm trying very hard to smile, but I really didn't want to do this show. I'm not extremely happy at the moment, and you'll know why.
Because you didn't have Zazai, you didn't have Gurbaz, you didn't have Zadran, and you don't have Rashid.
Only Zazai, and of course I have Rashid. Everyone has Rashid. That's the problem. I knew. I walked into that one. The moment I start this, I'm going to get trolled so badly.
But, you didn't have Najibullah Zadran.
I didn't have Najibullah Zadran, despite your advice.
Now, of course, I should be piling on to you and saying, but you know what? I think somebody told these Afghanistan batsmen of what is possible outside the playing field in T20 cricket. That happened just before their innings started, where valuations were huge. So now they're saying, okay, let's demonstrate that on the field. This was the cleanest hitting at any stage of this tournament. And it wasn't just Hazratullah Zazai. The sound though the bats were making, I think you just take each of the sounds and set it to a tune and you'll get a lovely little beat. It was, 100, 101. That Zazai can hit, right? We knew Najibullah Zadran can hit. We knew Hazratullah Zazai can hit. Oh, man. And who are the two best bowlers? Davy and Wheel, and they've gone for 10s.
And well, we mustn't forget that they also have a 6-6s record in the Afghanistan Premier League, Joy. But 5 of the biggest hits in the tournament, I know it's early days, but they all belong to Afghanistan.
Yeah, 11 sixes. They just, and they did it throughout the innings. Every time you thought that, okay, now the pitch will slow down and they won't start. And then, after that first flurry of sixes that you got from Zazai, and then basically Najib takes over. And one of the things that they did very well, which I thought Scotland, missed a trick out there, was they used the crease very well. What they thought they were bowling Yorkers, they just moved back and converted those into, not good length, but just volleyed under the surface of it and just got under the ball. And I think they did that so well. And I really thought Scotland was exposed today. They didn't react really well to what the Afghan batsmen were doing. But, if you get hit like that for sixes like that, I can quite understand if they're a bit dazed.
And Gautam, this, what do they say? Sharjah small boundaries, right? How does it matter how big the boundary is?
101 meters.
The smallest sixes is 87 meters and you're hitting 100 meters.
But it was the technique. You talked about the wonderful journey and early days of Afghanistan cricket. Every time they'd win a match, we'd be like, how heartwarming it is. What lovely people they are. I think all that is forgotten. They just play the game so well.
Gone. And, with several teams, we saw that with Ireland, that they had a lovely core. Trent Johnston, Niall O'Brien, Kevin O'Brien, Porterfield, Rankin, all these guys. You said, oh, wow, that's making for a good side. And it went nowhere. And then you saw Zimbabwe. Do you remember that great Zimbabwean side at the 99 World Cup? And you said, oh, excellent. And they went nowhere. Afghanistan, first they surprised everybody by being here. And then they've surprised everyone by their development because batting has arrived now. For a long time, the bowling came, but now the batting has arrived. And Najibullah Zadran, who was languishing somewhere like in an outhouse, he was at 7, 8 somewhere. Acha bachche ko khilana hai, keep him in the outhouse. He's now coming to his right number at number 4. They took a punt on Shehzad. And guess what? Their most experienced player didn't play at all. Didn't bat.
Neither did Gulbuddin Naib. The two most expensive players, Asghar Afghan, Naib, both former captains. Both have been sort of part of the Afghan setup as they've progressed from being also rans into being a force in world cricket. So they was obviously sitting and watching that. But I think Harsha makes a good point. Najibullah Zadran, like his namesake Shapur Zadran, used to pretty much bat between 8 and 11. And every time he'd come, he'd make 10 or 4 balls. He'd be like, what potential he has. Nobody realized he should be batting up the order, and now he does.
Yeah, he does, and he what the kind of runs that he got, the way I think I love the way that he accelerated. Both he and Gurbaz, they managed to accelerate exactly at the right time. First, Najibullah starts hitting, then Gurbaz comes in. Gurbaz was going pretty slow, then he hits a couple of sixes, and
Yes.
I just love the way they exchanged momentum. So that if you look at the innings and how they played, look at that, look at that number 9.17 and 12.6 to end. That's 63. It was absolute. It wasn't the easiest, the ball was slowing down, but these batsmen were just relentless, absolutely relentless.
You see the
So
boundary
just see how they
progression
mix
there.
the fives and threes. See how they mix the fives and threes. That their binary code is 3 and 5, which translate into 4 and 6. So 11 fours, 11 sixes.
You just stole a line from me, Harsha. I built myself up into that whole binary 0-1 into 5 and 3.
Just rewind. Can we get the producer to rewind on a live show? Can we rewind? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cricbuzz Live. Here's Gautam Bhimani on binary codes.
But not for the first time. But the what 5 and 3 that impressed me was in the middle phases. We've done so much analysis, not just here, but during the IPL, of how teams sort of consolidate between 7 and 15, and then they go hard. There's no consolidation. It's just about which way you want your 5 and 3 to go. They were constantly getting the boundaries, rotating the strike, and timing the ball to perfection.
I mean, look at that. 9 overs there. In 9 overs, there were 8 boundaries. 3 of them are sixes, but they've gotten 8 boundary hits in 9 overs. So that means 8 and over is now a singles game, which is what they've done. If you can hit a boundary and over, then 8 and over becomes a singles game. And I think that is why we've seen right through the IPL as well. We all spend so much time talking about the power play, talking about the end overs, and it's how you maximize the middle overs. Chennai won, Chennai maximized the middle overs. Mumbai Indians last time maximized the middle overs. I thought Afghanistan did that really well. They've shown a great appreciation. I'd love to see how they go and play at Abu Dhabi. We'll wait and see. I mean, if you're hitting 100, you're hitting 100 anyway.
Interesting. And if you're hitting 101 meters, you're hitting 101 meters everywhere in the world.
It was a few years ago, and I keep thinking of trends in world cricket, Harsha and Joy. Someone as unlikely as Robin Jackman came up to me once in a commentary box in South Africa, and we were talking about these trends. And we all went first 6 overs, last 6 overs. He said, check out the last 20 T20 games and see who won between overs 7 and 13 and how many teams won that game. 99% of it turned out to be right. So I just took those words on board. And every time a game comes around, it apparently is true.
It's a staggering statistic. I must check it out, because that means that basically whoever dominates middle overs wins games. That if people get onto that, I think that will change the way most T20 teams bat. But I think what's happened also is that because it's such a constant evolving game, you see, before this, you had 10 countries playing really seriously, 7, 8, 10 countries playing the game seriously. Now you have maybe 30, 35 countries in there, maybe 15, 18 who are challenging somewhere around there. And therefore, tactically, the game is also changing much faster, I think.
Final word on Scottish bowlers. We shouldn't ignore them. There were actually 2 teams out there in the park, apparently. Mark Watt, stand out for you, Harsha?
In fact, 4 overs, 1 for 23. But I think 13 might have come off his last over when he bowled very late into the innings. He was 3 overs for 10. He's a slow left-arm Yorker bowler. I don't think he's a slow left-arm spinner. So if he gets a Yorker right, he concedes a single at best. If he misses it, they got him for runs in the last over. So he's this, this new breed of indefinable bowlers that Bishan Singh Bedi, when he used to talk about people who didn't really spin the ball, he said, nah, they're not spinners, call them slow. It is this left-arm slow all kinds.
Since you saw him yesterday, a little bit like Imad Wasim?
But the thing with Imad Wasim, which I think makes him a superior bowler, is that ball swings very late. Imad Wasim is a slow left-arm in-swing bowler. But that
so
ball just slow left-arm in-swing,
and we've got slow left-arm Yorker. Fair enough. We've got 2 new breeds of bowlers.
And now we're going to have some mystery spin coming. Yeah, they're darters. Just dart the ball. And all these Delhi guys, they always say pair pakadna. Mane, hold on to his legs. It's literally you try and catch the legs of the batsman. Don't allow him to free his legs. This is pair pakadna bowler.
Gurgaon mein wo kabaddi khelte hain na. Gurgaon mein wahan taange pakadte hain bhai, cricket mein nahi.
Bilkul. Across the border, Harsha, either side, either Gurgaon or Delhi, pair pakadna is good enough. And such a Delhi expression. At the Tau Devilal Stadium, that is going to be the mantra to win a game. But as the innings gets underway, we've still got one little thing to do. I'm not going to even try and participate because of the way my team's going. But We were horribly off the mark, 190 in terms of our predictions. Scotland have to go hard. We don't know when Rashid will come on to bowl, but they've got to get, 50, 60 maybe in the power play, Harsha?
If they go hard, they'll lose big. That's my gut feel. My feeling is they will go 40 in the power play.
Fair enough.
Maybe I don't know if they'll have a choice. My feeling is 40-42 in the power play. Let's see. I could be completely wrong this time.
I'm going for... you were, I mean, not as badly wrong as I was last time. I'm going to go with 47 for a very technical cricket reason. It's because a mosquito has 47 teeth.
Mosquito has 47 teeth.
Why don't you go 2 because an elephant has 2 tusks?
I'm trying to find.
Why did you go centipede because you got 100 legs?
Okay, I'm going to go 55. Joy, can you give me a good reason? Can you give me a good reason to go 55? Anyone famous?
One ahead of the house in the bamboo door.
One ahead.
I have 555 at 54.
I'm not even going
there. It's State Express without the
or the famous partnership, the 555 partnership between
Percy Holmes and
Percy Holmes and
Herbert Sutcliffe.
Sutcliffe and Holmes, 555. Take the 5 out.
A few days before they got knocked over by Mohammad Nisar.
Correct. Well done. Well done. If any of you are old enough to be remembering that, thank you for joining us from wherever you are. But that's the way it goes. Expect the unexpected when the three of us get together. That's the kind of fun we like to have, but keep a focus on the serious cricket. Will Scotland get there? We feel Afghanistan have enough. We'll, of course, look at the assessment at the 10-over mark. For now, thank you, Harsha. Thank you, Joy. And thank you all for joining us on Cricbuzz Live.